Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and you like the content, please consider hitting the like and subscribe. Alright guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the way that I play George Lynch's epic, iconic solo on Dokken's Walk Away. Really cool solo, really cool phrasing, big soaring leads, and just an excellent solo overall. So grab a guitar, let's get going. Alright guys, a few housekeeping things to take care of before we get going with this solo. First things first, everything will be in standard tune, no weird surprises there. As far as the scale that George is going to be using for pretty much all of this solo, we're going to be looking at D minor. As long as you know that scale, we should be fine. There is a section which is going to feel kind of D Dorian, but we'll talk about that when we get there, so don't worry about it. One thing I will mention, if you are playing along to this and you find that just for whatever reason your tone is so far off it just doesn't sound right, don't worry. George uses a lot of effects on his sound, and if you really want to try and get close to it, you're going to need to do the exact same thing. So I'd recommend you use a dirty amp or use something like a distortion pedal of some kind and maybe a tube screamer or something similar to that to try and push that into even higher gain territory. Also, as far as the process signal goes, personally I put coarse on the take I did earlier that you heard. I find a lot of George Lynch stuff seems to have coarse on it. And last and most importantly, you are going to need to use a delay pedal. I highly recommend you use a digital delay that has a long delay period. I use something set to around 500 milliseconds. So experiment with all these things around there and you'll probably get somewhere near the sound you're looking for. There's also a lot of ambient noise that I think was added in post-production, so you can try and put reverb on that if you like. It might help out. Oh, another thing I will say, guys, while you're playing this, if you find your vibrato sounds off, just make it bigger and faster. That sounds a bit crazy, but George Lynch's vibrato is massive and fast. The only way I can really describe it is violent. So apply violent vibrato to pretty much anything you're going to be sitting on for notes, and you should kind of get that sound. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Enough talking. Let's get into that solo. Okay, section one. Here we go. Okay guys, so this section is pretty quick. This is not in D minor. It feels to me more like D Dorian. I think that's what George was going for. I'm going to say right now, this section, section one, is kind of an optional section. You will not hear this section really on the studio quality version in the mix. Way back before we got these nice isolated tracks available on YouTube, most people would start this phrase just by sitting right here and putting some vibrato on that D note located on the 7th fret of your G string. You can do that if you like and then get into the other part, or you can try to learn this section. I'm going to say this is probably the most technically challenging. Anyway, let me break this down for you and I'll teach you how to do it. Alright guys, so to start this thing off, you're going to be doing this. And all I'm doing is I'm just kind of striking, you can hit pretty much any notes you like. I'm doing pretty much the middle 3 strings here, so I'm just kind of muting across here and hitting on the D, the G, and the B, sliding up and coming back down. So that's the first part you're going to do to start this section off. Once you've done that, you're going to be playing this little phrase right here. Okay, and this is the one that feels kind of Dorian, but the important thing here is we're just going to be doing basically a symmetrical pattern. You're going to just do one pattern and apply it in different spots all over the neck. So to start this off, we're going to be, and I'm doing this with my pinky. George likes to use his pinky quite a bit. You can do that if you like, or you can skip and do something else. But first things first, I'm going to be playing right here on the 9th fret of my G string. Pick that once, pull off back to the 7, pull off to the 5, hammer on to the 7, hammer on to the 9, okay? And that's the first bit of the phrase. Okay, so all together we've got... Okay, now the next bit, see this kind of fingering we're doing right here? We're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to be doing it up here. So we're going to be using exclusively on the B string, the 8th fret, the 10th fret, and the 12th fret. So to start this section off, you're going to be playing the 8th fret once. Go over here and grab the 12, play that once. Pull off to 10, pull off to 8, hammer on to 10, hammer on to 12. Okay? So all together, up to this point, we have this. Okay, perfect. Now from there, to kind of finish this off, what we're going to do here is we're going to be coming over and playing on the 8th fret of the high E string. You pick that once, up to the 12th, play that once, pull off, back to the 10, pull off back to the 8. Okay, so we got this so far. Okay, Then from here, what I want you to do is we're going to repeat the exact same pattern, but we're going to be doing it now on the B string. So do that, just start off on the 12th, play that once, pull off to the 10, pull off to the 8. Okay, so all together. All right, now we're almost done, guys. We're just going to be doing this exact same phrase like that, but we're going to be shifting over here onto the G string. So to play the very last phrase, all you're going to want to do is, I'm doing this with a downstroke, pick on the 11th, pull off to the 9, and then pull off right there to the 7th. And that happens to be a D note, and you're going to want to put vibrato on it. So kind of that sort of thing, okay? So all together, that phrase would look and sound kind of like this. All right, guys, section 2 should look and sound kind of like this. All right, guys, and all I'm doing for that is section 1, we of course ended off right here on that D note with vibrato. And of course, make sure you put big, wide, fast vibrato. All right, once you're done the big vibrato piece, you're gonna come up to the 13th fret on the B string, play that once, bend it up a whole step, and you're gonna release it back down to the 13, pick it again and put a pinch harmonic on it. And again, lots of vibrato and everything, guys. So we have this so far. Okay, then from there we're gonna be playing this phrase. And this is really easy. We're literally just gonna kind of walk down D minor pentatonic here. So we're gonna start off on the D, incidentally, on the high E string at the 10th fret, play that once. Come over here to the 13th fret of your B string, play that once. Come over here to the 10th fret of the B, play that once. And then we're gonna finish this off by playing right here the 12th fret of your G string and put some vibrato on it. Don't pinch this one though. Okay, so the whole thing like that. All right, so for context from the start of this section. All right, so to finish that section off, we play this. So all we're doing is just coming across back through that pentatonic box shape, but just playing the bottom notes here. So we're gonna start off, and I'm just kind of barring this as I go across. You can do that if you like. It makes it easy for me, and I'll show you why. So I'm just kind of doing 10th fret on the high E string, 10th fret on the B, 10th fret on the G. I'm kind of coming across them like that, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here with my ring finger, grab the 12th fret of that G, pick that with a pinch harmonic and put some vibrato on it. So that kind of thing. And that's why I'm kind of doing that upstroke motion, because as soon as you hear a pinch, you know that it has to be a downstroke, right? So that's what I think is probably going on there. All right, so that entire section all together should look like this. Perfect. All right, guys, so the next section, this is pretty quick and easy, and it should look and sound just like this. Okay, so we ended, of course, with that pinch harmonic in the last section here. Following that, we're just gonna kind of run back through the scale again. So I'm gonna be playing on the 10th fret of my G string once. Come over here, play the 12th fret of your D string once. Pull it off back to the 10th, so we got like so. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab the 12th fret of the A string, play that once. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to be playing with some vibrato the final note, which happens to be the 10th fret of the A string. So that kind of thing. And again, put vibrato on it if you can. So that whole little section, and play this really quickly, by the way. That kind of thing. Almost sounds like you're falling down the stairs. Very quick. All right, guys, so the next section should look and sound kind of like this. Okay, so to start this off, what you're going to want to do is you're going to be on the B string, slide into the 17th fret. And then from there, once you get to this, you're going to be picking on and off of the 18th fret. So 17, You do that twice. All right, so all together we have this. Now from here, what you want to do is kind of change your position. You can hear this on the recording. It sounds like a position shift. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out my middle finger here for my ring finger. Come back up there to the 17th, play that again, and do that little on to the 18th. And then I'm using my pinky and I'm grabbing up here on the 20th fret of the high E string. Okay, so all together we've got this. Okay. Now from there you're going to play this. You stopped up here on the 20th fret of the high E string. Now we're going to do this. Okay, so again we stopped up here on the 20th fret of the high E string. Come back down here to the 18th fret. And then right here I'm going to be playing the the 17th fret of the high E string, hammer on and off of the 18. Like that, because I hear it as a trill. Now this is a bit of a tricky one on the recording. It could be a trill, it could be just a delay note, which happened to be in the middle of this descending piece. Either way you can decide what to do. I personally went for the trill, so all up to this point we have this. Okay, so we're that far now. All right, now from here what I want you to do is jump down onto the 15th fret of the high E string, play that once. And then following that, you're gonna do this little lick. Okay, so we played that once, 15th fret, high E string. Now you're gonna hammer on to the 17th fret and pull off. So slide back to the 13th fret. You can either hammer on or pick that, which would be the 15th fret of the E string again. So we got this. And this is where you're gonna grab the bar. I can hear it on the recording. It's definitely a bar. And jiggle it like a lunatic. So that entire phrase up to this point should look and sound kind of like this. Perfect. Alright guys, next lick is a bit crazy and quite hard, and it should look and sound kind of like this. Okay, so to start this lick off, what I want you guys to do is come up here, grab the 20th fret of the high E string, pick and play that, and bend it up a full step. Now pick this 3 times. Third time, bring it back down to 20, and then play the 17, all on the high E string. So all together. And then from there, I'm going to be playing this lick. Okay, all I'm going to do, guys, is I'm using my ring finger, 20th fret B string, play that once, slide it down to the 18th, play the 15th, all on the B string. Okay, so then I'm going to be playing right here on the 15th fret of the G string, and then ending the phrase right there on the 17th fret of the B string. Okay, so that lick should look and sound like this. Okay, all right, and that whole thing for context should look kind of like this. And then from there, we're going to be playing this lick. Okay, so all we're going to do for that, guys, is we ended the last little phrase there. I'm going to again do that kind of finger roll thing, and I'm going to be playing the B string on the 15th fret once, G string 15th fret once, back to the B string 15th fret once, back to the 15th fret G string once, play that, and slide it down to the 14th. So we got this. Okay, and then from there what I want you to do is I'm going to be using my other finger here, my middle finger for this one, and I'm grabbing the 15th fret of the D string, playing that once, back to the 14th fret on the G once, back to the 15th fret on the D once, back to the 14th fret on the G string. So all together. Okay, and that whole phrase all together up to this point sounds like this. Okay, now the next bit of this phrase gets a bit crazy, and I'm going to show you some alternate ways you can play this. I end it in a very specific spot just because I need to hit that pinch harmonic, and this is more ergonomic for me. George may play this in different locations. You can hear on the recording that this was definitely 2 separate takes, and the phrase that comes after this was a completely separate take, so they were unrelated and probably not intended to be played in the way that they're stacked on the album. So use your ears, use your hands, see what makes the most sense for you, and you should be able to get through this. Anyway, but we ended here. Now comes this doozy of a lick. So following that, next comes this lick. Okay, so we ended right there, of course, on the G string on the 14th fret. Our last piece. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my my middle finger and I'm going to grab the 15th fret of the D string. Play that once. Slide that down to the 14th. Slide that all the way down now to the 12th. And you're going to pull off back to the back to the 10th fret. Okay, so we got this. Okay. And then from there, you're going to hammer on back to the 12th fret off of the 10th fret on the D. Okay, so, all right. So all together, the entire thing up to this point should look and sound kind of like this. Okay. Now from here, the way that I'm doing this is I'm using my pinky, and I'm going to grab right here on the 13th fret of the A string, and honestly try and put a little bit of vibrato on it if you can. It's hard, but go for it. And then come back here and play on the 10th fret of the A string. Okay, so, and then to end it, grab right here on the 13th fret of the B string, bend it up a full step with a pinch. Just like that. So that whole lick, all up to this point, should look and sound like this. Okay, now conversely, here's the alternate part I was telling you about. We stopped off that phrase before, that weird descendy bit here on the pinch harmonic. Just, you know, kind of hanging out here on the G string up at the 14th fret. What you could do is this. Okay, that's an alternate way you could play this if you want. Some people like to play it that way, it makes sense for them. As long as you don't mind the big jump up here to hit that harmonic. That's the real trick, and that's kind of why I chose the way I did it the first time around. But to do it the alternate way around, all you can do for the descending part is play, starting off on the 15th fret of your D string, slide to the 14, slide to the 12, slide back down to the 10, hammer on to the 12, so we got this, like so, and then just position shift and jump back here onto the 8th fret of the D string, play that. To put some vibrato on it, and then come over here and grab right there on the G note located on the A string, 10th fret, and then jump over here onto the 13th and do the full pinch harmonic bend. That way also works. So that way would look kind of like this altogether if you wanted to do that as an alternate. So that is an option. Alright guys, final section. Alright, so to start this off, all we're going to be doing is grabbing right here on the 12th fret of the high string and bend it up a half step. Kind of slowly, like a little bit of a slur. Alright, then from there what you're going to do is jump over here onto the 10th fret of your B string, play that once, hammer on to 13, pull off back to 10, and then you're going to pick and play with a pinch harmonic the 13th. Alright, so we got this all together. Alright, from there you're going to play this. Alright, so all I'm doing, we finished off, of course, with the pinch harmonic. From there, what I want you to do now is come back onto the 10th fret of the B string, play that once, hammer on and pull off from the 13. Come over here onto the 12th fret of the G string and play that and put some vibrato on it. Okay, so all together. You could put a pinch on it if you like. I don't hear one in the recording, but feel free to do so if you want. From this point, we have this lick. Okay, and all I'm doing there, guys, is we obviously finished off right there on the G string at the 12th fret with some vibrato. Now we're going to do is another hammer on. We're going to start off on the 10th fret on the G string, play that once, hammer on a 12, pull off back to the 10, and then slide to the 9, and then from the 9 slide down to the 7, and then from the 7 slide down to the 5. All right, so all together we've got this. Okay, all right guys, now to finish this off, all you have to do is on the 5th fret on the G string, do a pinch harmonic and then do a dive bomb. Just like that, just that simple. Just make sure you do it very slowly. All right guys, that whole section together should look and sound kind of like this. Alright guys, so there you have it. That is the way that I played George Lynch's epic solo on Walk Away by Dokken, which of course was on Beast from the East, an epic live album. I hope you guys found this some way useful or informative or helpful. If you did learn anything, please consider hitting like and subscribe and helping my channel grow a little bit. And as per usual, just keep on shredding, and we will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye for now.